and our union halls. The system has been rigged. You know it, I know it, and only we can fix it. It's time to do better now. So what can you do? Now, tell Senator Sullivan, tell Senator Murkowski, it is past time to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that so far are shamefully being ignored in a Mitch McConnell-led Senate. As a united labor movement, we stand with our black members, our black friends, and our black neighbors. Black Lives Matter. Thank you for letting me be a part of this action today with all of you.
How many of us know that the census matters? Mr. Ed Wesley, please.
Before I discuss the census, I would like everyone to remember a name. Theodore Roosevelt Mason Howard started our civil rights movement in Mountain Bayou, Mississippi, when Emmett Till was killed. He went to Alabama and spoke at a church, and he inspired Rosa Parks to do what she did. The media does not tell you that story. There was a boycott in Mississippi that we would not buy gas where we couldn't sleep. The boycott continued in Alabama. So honor Dr. Howard. Also, we're going to honor John Lewis after this event. Go to 1433 West 9th Avenue and lay a rose in his honor. There should be a rose there for you to lay in his honor. Now I'm going to speak about the census. I'm one of the managers for the U.S. Census in the state of Alaska. The census represents three things: power, money, and diversity. The power is derived from the law of the land, which is the U.S. Constitution. It mandates that everyone in the U.S. must be counted every 10 years. The U.S. Census have been counting individuals since 1790. The importance of that is that our congressmen, they, based upon the votes and based upon the population in each state, will determine how many congressmen you will have. We have one for the state of Alaska. I believe California has 53. Not only that, the other power that comes from in addition to your congressman, is the redistricting that will take place in our state. Goes all the way down to the school board. So it's very, very important that you tell everyone to go and fill out their census papers. And I'm going to give you just a couple of things in terms of the funding. We receive about $3.1 billion per year based upon the population. So some of the things that the census numbers would bring to the state of Alaska is medical assistance, student loans, federal direct student loans, money for that, Medicare supplemental medical insurance, highway planning, Pell grants, Section 8 housing, state children health insurance program, national school lunch program, Head Start, WIC, healthcare centers, school breakfast programs, child and adult care food program. That's just to mention a few of them. please tell everyone to fill out their census so that we can get the money that we are entitled to in the state of Alaska. And when I say diversity, the funds are allocated based upon the populations and the needs of individuals. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And I'm going to just list the next few speakers, which is all we have, and ask that they start making their way to the podium. So that would be Doyle Williams with Teamsters 959, Marvin Jones with Unite Here, Local 878, Bessie Odom with the Poor People's Campaign, James Smallwood, and he's going to be talking about quality education because we know we need it. And so if those individuals can make their way socially distanced, of course, beginning with Doyle Williams, Teamsters 959.
Thank you, Celeste. My name is Doyle Williams. I am Vice President of Alaska Black Caucus, but I am also the Vice President of Teamsters Local 959. We support Black Lives Matter as a local. Teamsters go back in the movement all the way to the beginning. During the early days in the 60s, in the years which I was born in 1956, there has never been a decade in our history where there was not a struggle about the Black Lives Movement. I was born in 1956 and 1960, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, where I was there between the 1960 riots and the 1990 riots. I know firsthand what it means when we say we've had enough and what happens when we've had enough. We are a peaceful people. We are trying to move this body forward. I commend the young men and women of the 21st century who are now taking up this mantle. My great-grandfather was born in the 1800s. In the 1800s, Black Lives Matter, but there was no voice. To where we are today in the 21st century, where young men and women are, along with their friends of all colors, are now taking up this battle. This battle is not over. It's not going to be over anytime soon, but the numbers continue to grow, and we appreciate all of those of all races who are now joining this cause to say, this has to stop. We have to come to the table, and there can be justice if we work hard enough at it. Continue to support the people of your community. Anchorage is a growing city. I've been here since 1978. This city has evolved. It is very diverse. We want to make sure it stays that way. Black Lives Matter.
Okay, I mentioned the names already. So Marvin Jones, and then there's Bessie Odom, and James Smallwood, and Pastor Patterson is going to close us out. So in that order, I also want to share, please get your ribbons. Please get your ribbons because we're going to have a little piece of the program toward the end where we're standing in unity, in solidarity against racism. So I know that we do have the Alaska Black Caucus United for Change individuals here handing out the red ribbon. So with that, Marvin Jones.
Woo! Hey, Marvin!
Good afternoon. My name is Marvin Jones. I'm the president of Unite Here, Local 878. We represent workers in the hospitality industry. I'd like to start off by saying Martin Luther King often spoke about economic equality. As a representative for workers in the hospitality industry, the dream, the struggle continues. For many workers working in America deserve a livable wage. We live in a system. Many live below the poverty level and work 2 jobs to equal one fair wage. In the spirit of Martin Luther King, we must push forward and demand the moral practice of substandard wages. The right to have economic equality, political equality, and social equality is not a temporary fight. It is an infinite fight. We must keep our dream, his dream, alive. One job should be enough. Black Lives Matter.
Hello everyone, my name is Bessie Odom. I am the co-director of the Alaska Poor People's Campaign. Thank you all for being here today. This is amazing. The turnout is everything I thought it would be and then some. So thank you all for being part of history.
Can you tell your mom I have 10% left? Okay.
I stand in front of you all today because of those who came before me. It is because of their sacrifices that I exist. I am forever grateful to my ancestors for all they had to endure so that I and others like me may be able to pick up the torch and fight for the generations ahead. When Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech, do you think that he envisioned the sort of society in which we're living today? I'm talking about a society that criminalizes individuals based on the color of their skin. A society that insists on robbing children of their childhood by keeping them locked in cages. A society that undermines the humanity and strips the rights of the LGBTQ community. A community that mocks and ridicules those who are living in poverty and those who are houseless. Martin Luther King Jr. was specific in what he hoped society would be like after he died. And I can assure you folks that he wouldn't have told people who needed help, support, and compassion, not in my backyard. What is happening? What is happening in our nation's capital, our state, and our city, and within our own backyards is not at all what he had in mind. You see, it's important that we, all of us, regardless of our differences, demand the future that Martin Luther King Jr. and so many others who fought and died for not only today, but for the generations to come, so that we will be able to live in a nation that won't judge us by the color of our skin, immigration status, country of origin, gender identity or sexuality or income or even housing status. We must continue to fight back and demand a future where all people are liberated. Although slavery was technically eradicated a few centuries ago, we know that there are still too many within our nation who are continually trying to dismantle systems of oppression so that they may be free from the bondage that the oppressive systems continue to enforce. Not only have these systems kept Black, Indigenous, and people of color in bondage, but it has also divided folks. There's people who proudly proclaim that all lives matter, but where were these people when the LGBT community was being stripped and denied of their rights? Where were these people when the Indigenous community was fighting to protect their sacred lands from the industries? Where were these people when children were being separated from their parents only to be locked in cages? Where were these people when women were being ridiculed and degraded by the man in the White House? And where are these people as we stand here together in unity and solidarity and proclaim that Black Lives Matter? Now, I could go all day explaining to you why those who proclaim that all lives matter, whilst denying the humanity of several marginalized groups, are not with us today, but I'll spare you the long and drawn-out rant that I'm notoriously known for. But I will say that if one believed that all lives matter, there'd be no counter-protest today and not ever. These people don't understand that Black Lives Matter isn't about supremacy or superiority, but it's about tearing down the existing oppressive systems that have kept my Black brothers and sisters in bondage since the conception of this nation. We stand here not to push a supremacist agenda, but we stand here for all of our sisters and brothers who fell victim to a system that failed to protect them and acknowledge and value their humanity. We stand for the victims of police brutality. We stand for the many Black trans women who are murdered, abused, and ignored. We stand here for the Black mothers who are dying while giving birth in the hospitals. We stand here for the Black folks all over the United States who have died to the current COVID-19 pandemic. And we stand here to demand that our voices be heard and acknowledged, and not to create division, because we know that no one is free until we are all free. And that all lives cannot matter until Black lives do. Thank you.
Okay, so next we have James Smallwood.
Thank you, Celeste, for this opportunity. And it's such a blessing to be out here, to see everyone out here supporting Black Lives Matter. As a dad of 2 Black boys who are part of the public school, I find myself in prayer all the time about their safety, their future, their education, and where they might be. Can I just tell you what my concern is?